Now in this space, I want you to really focus on relaxing the body. And as we work through the body, focus on where I'm telling you. So give yourself a visual, like when I say the shoulders, literally visualize your shoulders. Try to put yourself in your shoulder and telling it to relax as we work down the body. So to start off, just take a nice big inhale and exhale. Continue breathing on your own. Relax the forehead. Relax the eyes. Relax the head. Relax the mouth, the jaw. Relax the neck. Relax the shoulders. Relax the upper arms, the lower arms. Relax the wrists. Relax the fingers. Take a nice big inhale. And exhale, relax. Relax the chest. Relax the belly. Relax the hips. Take a nice big inhale. And exhale. Feel the lower back sink down into the floor. Relax the glutes. Relax the hamstring, the quads, the knees. Relax the calf, the ankles. Relax the feet. Relax the toes. Take a nice big inhale. Exhale. Take another inhale. Exhale. Take the left hand, place it on top of the heart. Take the right hand on top of the belly. Take a big inhale and try to fill the belly up with air. Filling up as much space as you can. Feel the right hand lift. And exhale. Take another inhale. Try to fill up the chest this time. Feel the left hand lift as the chest lifts. Hold that air in that chest. Feeling that space expand. And exhale. Okay, let the arms drift off to the side. Our first release technique is gonna be the ball under the hip or the sacrum. So find what therapy ball is good for you. And what you're gonna do, pick a side to start off on. We're gonna do one side and then we're gonna do the other side. So again, everybody's fascia is different. So it might take you a second to kind of feel around for where you want your ball to be at for the longer hold. Feel free to in the middle of the long hold if you want to shift and move. Don't feel like you're stuck in that spot or something's going to happen. If you move, you still have that pressure. So even if you move it, the whole fascia system, it's still, feeling that. So if you need to move it and you want to find some other space to release, definitely feel free. Now I'm going to place mine up a little further. And I'm going to go ahead and set the timer for you.
So if it's pinching in the butt cheek, should I move it or leave it?
Is it like a sharp pinch?
No, it's like that. Interesting.
Yeah, if it's not like a sharp one,
Leave it.
then I would leave it. If it does continue to be like uncomfortable, maybe move it so it hits, there might be a spot around it that you can get in there that it won't be as intense. So it's definitely like, it's going to be intense. It is like a pressure, that you're pushing in on itself. But there's definitely a difference between that intensity and then like a sharp jabby pain that is, it's like more of like a hurting yourself thing that is not what we're looking for. Hi. Do you need a mat? Yes. I'll give you my mat. Here.
I think that you're in the right.
I'll come around.
Right.
So that's what I mean, is like there's not technically a right spot. Yeah. Because it depends on where you're having your stuff. So you could put it right here. Like if you're not feeling much, then maybe move it to the outside. Yeah.
I'm feeling like it feels like
Lower.
Right
there, yeah. I always tend to feel it lower. I go right here.
Okay. Yeah.
Right. So your sacrum is like where your tailbone is, and then on your either side of that tailbone, you can usually hit a spot that feels pretty good, that where you're going to release that sacrum tailbone area. We're going to just pick one side.
One side.
Yeah, one side. Okay. Ooh, I'm gonna see. Yeah, mine 10 again, and it has a lot to do with your hip contortion on where you feel more. Like if your hip is turned in more, the more on the outside of the leg, you're probably going to feel it. If hip is turned out, the closer the ball is in towards your midline, you're going to feel it more.
Oh, I think you said at one point start with a good one, but I didn't. I started with the bad one.
They're both bad in their own way, technically.
Yeah, misbehaving.
Right. So where I started my timer, which was not too long ago, is at a minute right now. So if you find a spot, feels good, we're going to sit in it another couple minutes. And again, it's a lot about it's about the softening, finding that control where you're breathing through the pressure. Don't forget to breathe. Big belly breath can help a lot. Sometimes also when I'm at home doing my home practice, I'll lift my leg up in the air and you'll feel a little bit more pressure for the pushing down. Or you can even drift it out to the side too. My leg starts moving when I start putting the ball in the hip. And that's a part of the unwinding process too. So if you feel like your limb wants to lift up and move around, feel free to do that. Just be gentle and intentional. And then a lot of times too, when you start in a spot and then you kind of roll it a little bit, you'll feel more in other spots. Just getting started in the one spot. A lot of times I'll start out on the outside and then kind of shift over a little bit so it rolls a little bit towards the middle. And you'll feel a different pressure. Okay. So we're about at 2 minutes now. And this is where you might start to feel a little bit of warmth, maybe a pulse, some tingling. Also, sometimes it can feel like a muscle is going to cramp. Got about 1 more minute on this side. Ooh. And then the lower you get down on the glutes, you'll start to feel a little bit more down in the hamstring and the side of the hip too. But we will be moving our way down to the hamstring, so it will have its time as well. Sometimes my belly will start pulsing. I do the back of the hip. Okay, and so we're just going to gently release that ball from under us. You can do that by gently lifting up the glutes and pulling the ball out from underneath. Ooh, and just take a second if you need to kind of wiggle a little bit. And we are going to move over to the other side. So you're going to take the ball on over to the other side. And peeling up the right side of the hip. You gently place the ball underneath. And then draw the hips back up on top. Now each hip is going to feel completely different. Or no, it's not always true. Sometimes same spot. But it might be a little bit different than the other hip. It might need to be in a different spot. We need to move up and down, the outside. One hip you might have not felt that much, and another hip you might feel immediately. Right, my bad hip starts tingling immediately. Also, don't forget to breathe. Taking nice big inhales, filling up the belly. You can gently draw the leg up if you'd like. Feel a little extra pressure. Whatever feels good for you at this time. And we hit the minute mark. So this would typically be in this natural stretching where you would, the time that you would kind of come out of it. And this is where we take a nice big inhale. And decide to sit for just a little bit longer. And feel a little bit deeper. Just take our time. Being in this moment right now. Trying not to let the mind chatter come in. Trying to stay in the body. Focusing on that space in the hip that needs to be released. Take a nice big inhale. That works too. Exhale. Try to soften the body. Releasing onto the prop. Let the prop do all the work. Just let the body sink into it. For once, let something else do the job. You just take all the time you need. Halfway there. Once you start sitting in it, and it doesn't seem to be as long. And then you start being like, oh, 6 minutes, 10 minutes. Oh, I could do this all day. Just getting past that little fidgety mind that wants us to be doing everything but taking care of ourselves. A lot of time to everybody else, everything else. We just need a little bit for ourselves. Don't forget to breathe. Taking those nice big inhales. Exhale. About 1 minute left. If you want to move that ball a little bit, find some other space that you haven't gotten into. Or if you need to pull out of it right now as well, that's fine. Again, this is all about your specific fascia signature and what it needs at this time. Take a nice big inhale. And exhale. So we are gently just going to drop the tailbone, lift up through the right side of the hip to release the ball. And what I'd like you to do is take the feet, keeping the knees up, take the feet out about mat width apart. And you're going to let the knees come together. This is specific for the psoas. So since we just released the lower back and where the psoas starts, which the psoas starts in the back, we're now going to gently release the front. I want you to place both hands on top of the belly. When you inhale, I want you to take the hands and give the belly a little bit of pressure. So as you inhale, you're going to just kind of push down just a little bit. So you feel that just small little bit of tension of the belly pushing up. Okay, so exhale all the air out. And then inhale, fill the belly up. Keep the hands pressed on the belly. Create a natural tension of the hands pushing into the belly, holding that inhale. And then I want you to exhale. And as you exhale, bring the hands down as well. So they kind of like pushing into the belly, helping it release. So the hands are still pushed into the belly. Take another inhale, filling the belly up, keeping the hands pressed down onto the belly. Big inhale. You can almost feel like you can expand the belly even further by pushing into the hands. Hold that space, feel that pressure. And then exhale, release. Allow the lower back to drop. Keep the hands pressing down onto the belly. And just hold that for just a second. Release the hands. Let them fall out to the sides. Okay. Gently draw the knees into the belly. We're going to lift the head and the chest up off the floor, wrap the arms around the shins or grab onto the knees and then gently pull the knees into the belly and together. Focusing on the lower back, releasing. You can also cross the arms around the shin and pull down too, if you'd like to do that, whatever feels good. Again, we're focusing on that lower back dropping down. Take a big inhale, stay where you're at. And exhale. Try to go a little deeper, pull those knees in a little bit more. If this is uncomfortable, you can take the knees and you can pull them out to the sides. Or if you want to try something different, you're welcome to do that as well. Whatever feels good. Again, we're focusing on that lower back. That lower back anchoring down into the floor. The lower back never gets any attention. Thinking about that space right between the glutes and the lower back, right where the hip is. And then the sacrum, which is right in the center below where the tailbone is. Send it some love. Send it some support. Make a nice big inhale. And exhale. Gently release the legs. So the next one, we're going to use 2 blocks. So again, this one, it's going to be a little bit different for everyone. It is focusing on the inner thigh. So your blocks, you're going to have 2 blocks, and they're going to be set up like so. And to do the left leg, we're going to set the blocks on the right side of the hip. Right? Now, for anybody that's done yoga, there is this stretch right here, right? Everybody know this one? So that's what we're doing, but the blocks are going to anchor the leg up. So what we're doing is we're taking gravity out of the situation. So this is what I do a lot. It's the same concept behind leg pulls, where I'm holding your leg up in the air for 3 to 5 minutes. Because when you do that, the fascia will start to unwind a lot easier. Now, again, we all have different issues going on. So if this is too much, this can be very related to knee issues, the inner thigh. So if you feel some pressure around your knee, again, be gentle, because if it becomes too stabbing, you might want to kind of take the pressure off a little bit. If you want to roll deeper into it, you're welcome to do that too. As I was playing around with this at home, I was placing a hand on the thigh and actually like kind of helping it get into the stretch. And then I put another hand behind my hip and kind of like pushed it, and just like you're pushing the hip in the direction as the leg. So again, there are some different things you can do. And yeah, and just as you were doing too, yeah, you can stick the ball behind the back too to help you. You can put another block behind you as well if that feels a little bit better, or if you just want to lean further into the twist. Don't feel like you need to keep that right hip on the ground. If you come up off of it onto the side of it, that is absolutely fine. So, because again, we're thinking more, we're trying to make space, right? We're not necessarily trying to like collapse into the stretch. This one is more about making space. And this is another one too, where you're going to feel more the longer you hold it. And you're also creating a lateral compression, which is really, really good for your fascia, because we usually have a lot of fascia compression in our quads, and squeezing the lateral sides can help a lot.
So I feel like I'm having to hold that leg up. Should I be doing that, or is
that's you holding it. That's try to soften into the block.
So my leg bends.
Yeah.
Is that all right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, like that. That's good.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, because that's comfortable. The other
Yes.
way, like.
Yeah. So if you want, and starting off like that, and then if you feel like you want to lift the leg after, you know what I mean? Like starting off like that, and then you feel like you want to take it up a little bit more, then yeah, but that's definitely a really good place to start to get it used to what's going on right now.
Because where I feel it is in the opposite hip waist.
Yep.
Is that bad?
Yes. Oh yeah. You'll start to understand how connected the inner thigh to the other outside of the hip is, right? There's a big old correlation between that diagonal.
I feel it right here, it's feeling like that. Like
Yes.
this.
Yes. So the inner thigh and the deep core, especially when you start, so it's forcing an engagement right now with your inner thigh. And so you're feeling all the places that are actually that are supposed to be supported by your inner thigh and your deep core, which runs all the way up the spine on the other sides of the hips. And the inside of the thigh never gets stretched out. And you'll also, there's a lot of acupuncture lines that run down the middle of the thigh. So when I was doing this, my bad hip, my stomach started like growling and doing all kinds of stuff, because you have like a gastro line that runs down the inside of your thigh. So I was actually feeling it like very in the body, not necessarily one spot. It was kind of getting into a lot of stuff, or like organ wise. And we are about you guys got about 2 minutes left. So we've been going for 3 minutes. If you want to take this. Yeah. But it's definitely more about just getting that leg to relax. Yeah. And that's like when you put your hand right here, you can probably do it a little and then back here.
The opposite side.
Okay, the other one done. That's another thing I noticed is the other side starts barking at you because they're like, my turn.
Experience.
Uh-huh.
Way, way easier than we did first, but I still feel like I'm holding it up. Like there's not enough under.
Well, and it might be too like the injuries you're dealing with, your body's just in that space where it's holding and it's your fascia wants to support you. And it is, that's why it's always a journey. Yes. That is its main job is sport. It just doesn't know when to stop. That sound like a human being. It's like we need to figure out this stretch. I was like playing around and I was like, because I was trying to figure out how to get the limbs up in the air. Because that's a part of the fascia stuff is like taking the gravity out of the situation. And so when I was doing this, it's almost like you're again, instead of just collapsing into the stretch, you're lifting up and then into it, which is creating that space. Which is a lot of times why we can't get into yoga poses, because we try to jam right into them without that space. Okay, now I want you to be very gentle, rebounding out of this one. Take your time. So you need to bend the knee and gently pull around. And for rebounding stretch wise, do what you need to do. Like if you need to let the knee fall out and open to open up that thigh, or if you want to kind of pull it in, or if you want to just let it come up, or if you just want to kind of sit here and shake it a little bit or lengthen it, whatever you need to do. We're going to do the other side and then we'll do the decompression stretch. Okay. Everybody feeling okay?
Yeah, I'm feeling
That one, that's what happened at the house is I ended up doing it for like 10 minutes. I was like, oh my God, great. So again, the blocks are right beside the opposite hip. I'm short, so I don't know if that's going to be different for somebody taller than me, if they need to have them out a little bit more. And then don't feel like you have to keep that left hip firmly on the ground. You can scoot over on the side of it if you need to, so you're not feeling like you're heeling backwards. Okay. Play us a little music. Light music. A lot of times music can help relax and let go and learning how to soften the body. Again, in this one, you can gently push on the back of the hip if that feels okay. You can place a hand on the outside of the thigh and kind of pull it over as well. When you do that, you add the compression on the other side. So it's like you're pushing laterally on the quad. It's really good for it. Just doing this to my client. Now we go. this is where you can really tell the difference in the hip contortions too, because it's usually bugging a whole different set of muscles. Or like different parts of the spine too. You'll feel it more in the upper back and the lower back. Guys are at the 2-minute mark. We're going for the big 6 minutes on each side for this one. It's nicely down. Aging for those tight spots. We are at that 6-minute mark. And we're gently rebounding out of it. So our restorative stretch, or to counter that one, is going to be recline. I don't know my Sanskrit anymore. So the feet are together and the knees are open wide. You can take the blocks and place them on the outside of the hips to create a nice little support. Pushing the feet together. And again, doing what you need to get comfortable. We're going to sit in this for a couple minutes. Now, if you want to increase the fascia release in this, you can place the hands on the tops of the thighs, or you can also switch the grip and place them on the inside of the thighs and push away, which is really good for the adductors. Either way is going to feel good. Don't forget to take nice big inhales, intentionally filling up the chest or the belly. And exhale, then releasing. Feel the hips drop a little bit further. Nice big inhale. And exhale. We're at the 2-minute mark if you want to, for a reference for how long you can sit in. Mama was saying that you can place your hands on the tops of the thighs or on the inside of the thighs to push away if you want to add some extra. Take a nice big inhale. Hold that inhale. Then exhale. Hold that exhale. And again, inhale. And exhale. And very gently draw the knees together. And let the legs slide down. Take a big inhale, sweep the arms up above the head. And as you exhale, we're gonna pull ourselves up. Inhale, reaching back up. Exhale, we're gonna come into a nice spinal twist through the right side, planting those fingertips, dropping those shoulders, gazing around the right shoulder. And inhale again, sweep the arms up, keep the shoulders down. And exhale down through the left, dropping the fingertips, dropping the shoulders, drawing the chin towards the left shoulder. Yogi toes active through the bottom of the feet, lengthening through the bottom of the legs at the same time. And exhale, gently come forward. Drop the head and just gently give it a little rock left to right. Oh, that's good. So now we are going to grab the ball and we're going to work on the spot right between the hamstring and the glute. So it is, again, it's going to be different for everyone. I kind of got to lift up a little bit to get under. You're welcome to take the blocks beside you if that kind of helps. You can do fists if you want to stay off the wrists, or sometimes I use fingers. But yeah, and you don't have to lift up either. I mean, you can feel it flat as well, but lifting up can kind of, you move around. Okay. And these ones we're going to do 3 minutes because they are a little bit more intense. And I tend to not stay in the same spot with this one because I like getting towards the inner and then rolling it out to the out a little bit. Ooh. You can work it down further into the hamstring too, if you want to, if you don't want to stay up here, if you feel like you have more of your tension issue is down, you can roll it down a little bit. So my hip, this one is pinned outside, and I always feel more towards the center of the leg whenever I do the hamstring. I don't know if that's consistent or I'm not sure.
Rolling over a big old knot.
Yeah.
Should I get on it?
Right. So this is where this is where I use the blocks because I feel like it's like you're like playing chess a little bit, right? Where you're like, you come up and you're like, can we go further into it? And if it starts to be like a stabby pain, there's a difference between the stabby pain and the like a massage gun or a deep tissue massage, where it's like you're getting through the pain to get that release. There's definitely a difference. Yeah, that's where I tell if it's like a cussing that's coming out, then it's probably not good. If it's like a then that's usually like the muscle. It's just the muscle, releasing. Because the stabby stuff is it's probably a skeletal thing, and that's the fascia doesn't. It's so hard.
Down into the back of my knee.
It's good.
Yeah, so yeah. I'm on it. I'm staying on it.
Yeah, that's good. That
Great.
Yep, because there's your back from the workshop. That would probably your knee might have been the first thing that got pulled, or that is pulling on the knee.
On the smart side this time. Yeah, smart and silly. Because I think what she told me was that you can prepare with the good one.
Yes.
Yeah. With the better, the easier one.
Yep. It's like because you're doing it like reverse order of how you got hurt. Yeah, because it's the second restriction was created from the first restriction, but you got to release the second restriction before going into the first restriction. Just like math. Ah. Oh, we are at the 3-minute mark, so if you want to release that baby, you might need to kind of shake your leg out a little bit, whatever you need to do. And then we're going to switch it over to the other side. Gently peeling up the hip. And is everybody okay if I am over like 5 minutes class? And again, each side is a whole different experience. A new set of rules, restrictions. Ooh, this spot is so crucial though, because I work on a lot of people. I notice they have a disconnection in their glutes and their hamstrings, and either the hamstring is taking on too much, and that's why the lower back's hurting, or the glutes are taking on too much, and the hamstrings like isn't able to build muscle. So, and I think this spot gets very tight and jammed up. Ooh. And it's extremely connected to the pelvis. These are definitely ones that I do every day, or try to do every day. I do that sacrum, and then I do right here, especially after a week of running around. So a lot going on, been standing, walking, running. Got about a minute left. Take what you need. Intense one. Okay, whenever you're ready, we're going to release that one. And we're going to move on down to the calf, the other big muscle that gets caught up on the lower legs. So it's a big calf. So you can come up here and feel around for a second, see if something comes up that you feel like you want to sit in for a little bit. Or you can go down a little lower. If the front of your ankles are tight, if the front of your ankles are tight, then usually the back of the ankles are tight. So Achilles back here, the Achilles tries to take on the world as well. So, and a lot of times the Achilles and the calf will cement together or pull on each other. Also come out to the side a little bit and get a lot of stuff trapped through the side of the calf as well. If you're not feeling as much, yeah. If you can come down on your calf like this and you're like, I'm good, then roll over to the side because that's where they're all hiding. Because that is the thing about the calves is they hide. The knots hide in calves. And sometimes I'll be working on one and it'll shoot over and you have to like dig in a little further to feel it. So beware, they will try to get away from you and really make you think like you don't have tight calves. There's also this other spot up on the outside that can be a real good one to keep your knees from getting stressed out too. The knees are very similar to me as in the elbows. And what I've found with the elbows is that all the little surrounding areas can be really big tension release spots when you're working with the ball. Which tendons are made out of fascia. And we got a lot of tendons right here and like down by the feet. So, and that's also why there's so nerve, like tennis elbow, or, you know, when you hit your elbow, why that's such an insane feeling is because the tendons are so highly connected to the nervous system. That's why when they do surgeries and stuff and they talk about like snipping tendons and moving tendons and everything, it's a lot. It's like you're messing with the nervous system too. About 15 seconds in the sky. We're almost done with class too. That went by. Right? It's like the best class. It's a perfect Sunday class.
What did you do right before I got here?
We did a body scan. So I had them lay down and I was like, relax your head, so to kind of get you in that space to soften. Release the ball and move it on over to the other side. Yeah, so body scans, like a relaxation technique, is probably how we'll start off class. That's a good way. And then we did a breathing, box breathing, the 4-second 4-4-4.
What's it thinking about doing both calves at the same time?
You can do that.
You can,
Yeah.
Feel more pressure.
you do.
Do that, yeah. I've done that because I was messing with the other classes I did. Yes.
Yeah.
Thinking it would be easier to do both calves and ankles than to do both hips.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and the hips too, like it's like you're dealing with a, you know, like it being out
Like
of
a
place.
reset.
Yeah. These ones are just muscles. So the muscles are just, yeah, it's not like you can't really adjust muscles. I guess. About a minute and a half left.
Not so much. Maybe not much pressure.
It's good, you know, like I said, you can do anything if you get like a wild hair and you're like, ooh, I wonder what this will feel like. I say go for it because that's your intuitive brain thinking, and that's also what we're practicing on too. Listening to what the body wants to do, not necessarily what we. So we're gonna finish up by doing the other side of the hips, or the front side. So we're gonna flip over. Do you have any kind of like stomach issues going on or any like lower abdominal cramping? Be gentle, maybe move the ball more on the outside than necessarily right on the psoas. If you are absolutely fine with it, you can make it as intense as you want. But you can go anywhere from this lower belly all the way down, like in like where the pubic bone is, in the inner thigh. You can even get all the way down there and it can feel really good, depending on what you've got going on. But you can, again, be gentle with the pressure because it can be intense. This is definitely a big one with softening. And this part of the body gets very tight really fast. That gets super, super sensitive. And they're finding more and more that the fascia being trapped on your organs down there is what is creating a lot of really intense menstrual cramps, digestive issues. That was my case. This one, and see, I can feel my whole left leg just went, it's like a temperature change almost, is what I felt. Would be probably a minute more. And just also make yourself comfortable however you need to. Like you need to lay the head down. You need to grab something to put under you. And it was all about you. Where you need to be. Feel what you need to feel. And good for just the whole front side of the body. Feel it all down your toes. It'll release the front of the shins, the front of the quad. The beautiful thing about fascia is it is a network. And you can plug in at any point and you can feel the benefits in the other parts of the body. It's pretty effective. Trying to sink a little bit deeper. Connecting with that lower portion of the body that we tend to ignore so much. Big old driver in everything we do. Our second brain. Yeah, at the 3-minute mark. We're gonna do about another minute. Forget to breathe. Start to make your way out of it. Just very gently lifting up through the left side. Oh, releasing that ball. We're going to take it over to the other side. This is going to be our last deep one. It did fly by. It's good though. Needed a rough draft. About at the halfway mark. Take a nice big inhale. And exhale. Trying to soften. Releasing around the bone. We've got about 30 seconds left. Almost there. Keep breathing. Whenever you're ready, very gently release that ball from under your hip. What we're gonna do is we're gonna bring the hands to the outside of the ribs and we're gonna push ourselves up into cobra. So you're gonna feel this nice release right where that ball was. And then we're going to come into cobra rolls, which are just these very gentle drops and lifts, releasing through the spine. And then staying low, I want you to take the knees out wide. And when you push back this time, we're going to come back into child's pose, lifting through the core, knees wide, dropping down. Hold this child's pose. I'm going to come around and give you a little. Take a nice big inhale. Just a couple seconds. Gently roll ourselves up. I want you to gently drop down to either side of the hips. Kick those beautiful legs out from underneath you. We're going to take a nice big inhale and sweep the arms up above the head. And then exhale, we're going to peel ourselves down one vertebrae at a time. Feeling that lower back wanting to anchor us down. Float the arms up above the head. And then exhale, bring them back down. We're gonna play you a song for Shavasana. If you need to get going though, then feel free to.